Hello, I'm Bob Ravenscroft, the Vice President of Advancement at Bryan LGH, and I'm pleased to be here today to help kick off the July segments of B-Tube as it relates to Bryan, our move to Bryan Health. And many of you may not know we have a museum on our East Campus, and that museum is the original home of William Jennings Bryan and his wife Mary Baird Bryan. And I encourage everyone to check it out. It's really a fascinating place, but why it is significant to us is it was a gift of the land and that home to the Methodist Church that was the origins of Bryan Memorial Hospital and the Bryan School of Nursing. Essentially, it's where it all started. So I'm going to turn it over to Wayne Hester, who's a docent at Fairview. So enjoy your tour with Wayne.
Well, folks, welcome to Fairview. We're really happy that you're here, and I think you're really going to enjoy seeing this beautiful 11,000 square foot home with this beautiful oak and walnut and mahogany and maple woodwork. Okay, follow me and we'll start our tour of the rest of the house. First item of interest that I'd like to show you is this light. As you can see, there are two forms of light here. Incandescent light bulbs hadn't been around very long, so Bryan wanted to equip it for gas as well as light in case that technology didn't survive. The Bryans lived here until 1912, when Bryan was appointed Secretary of State under President Wilson. And so then the Bryans left and went to Washington, D.C., and he served under President Wilson until 1915, when he resigned under a policy difference with President Wilson. And then the Bryans moved to Florida, didn't come back to Nebraska. And so the house was really empty until until the mid-1920s. But the Bryans finally decided to deed the house in 1922 to Methodist Church. He had offered the house to the Presbyterian Church. They turned it down, but his law partner, who was a strong Methodist, said, "We'd like to build a hospital, and this would be a good place to build it." And so Bryan deeded the house and 10 acres around the house to the Methodist Church. They broke ground in 1924, and the hospital opened in 1926. We can move now into his library. Can't say for sure, but Woodrow Wilson came out at one point in time to Lincoln in 1912 to get Bryan's support for the 1912 presidential convention, and he did get Bryan's support, and I would have to believe that this is probably the room that they met in. Now we're down in the lower level, and this is really where the Bryans lived. And this was their office, and you can see the desk there, and Bryan sat in one chair, and Mary, his wife, sat in the other, as they were real partners in his political career. You'll notice two telephones in the background, and at the time there were two independent telephone companies in Lincoln, and if you just subscribed to one, you couldn't talk to anybody that just subscribed in the other, so of course the Bryans subscribed to both. We're back on the porch again, and nearing the end of our tour. We were happy to have you and hope you enjoyed your tour of Fairview, and also of learning some of the history of the founding behind Bryan Hospital.
I hope you enjoyed that peek at Fairview, and encourage anybody who wants an up-close and personal look to go visit one of our docents like Wayne and take a personal tour. It's open to the public. It's there for everyone to see. And boy, what a cool old house, and a wonderful gift that the Bryans did to create this legacy that's going to be carried forward as Bryan Health. Well, we come to this week's trivia contest, and it is, where did Mary Baird Bryan and William Jennings Bryan office at Fairview? If you want to enter this week's drawing, go to bryanlgh.org/trivia. Thanks. We'll see you next week.